Good evening. This is my presentation on the test 2 for this activity. I will make the presentation of a news entry. Listen, begin. The battle for Mosul explained. October 22, 2016, ISIS seized Iraq's second largest city 2 years ago. Now, a USA-supported coalition is fighting to take it back. Here is everything you need to know. Why is it happening? Attacks now? Because Iraq's military is finally ready to go in the offensive government. The government forces were humiliated by ISIS in June 2014 when some 1,500 jihadis stormed Mosul and routed 2,500 Iraqi soldiers, many of whom panicked and fled, leaving behind their USA supply weapons and humvees. Since then, the Obama administration has focused on rebuilding and retraining Iraqis demobilized and dysfunctional army, so that they can capture and hold territory without the help of large numbers of USA. Growth on troops Iraqi backed in Iraqi cities military and crucial for the Iraqi military led the way in Sunni majority Mosul, because Saud's military have previously been accused of killing and abusing Sunni civilians. Atrocities in Mosul could spark a new secretary uprising against the city-dominant government in Baghdad, so battle for Mosul will be headed in part by the Iraqi army's 15th Division, which was created after the loss of 2014. Many of these soldiers were killed. The collapses in Mosul and very hungry for redemption, says Michael Knights, an Iraqi expert at the Washington Institute for Nears and Police the Guards. Who ran away are coming back? What is the battle plan? The offensive is being fought on two fronts. About 1,000 Kurdish Peshmerga are fighting to retake a string of ISIS. Help heads and Mosul with support from USA warplanes, artillery, and special operations. The main attack is being launched from a Quarry Air Base. Some 40 miles south of Mosul were 125 USA military advisors, 22 Iraqi government troops, and 6 Tuesday mainly Sunni tribal fighters have gathered in recent months, backed by Coalition Air Support Liberation Forces websites along the Tigris River, clearing ISIS from tombs and villages before reaching the city's edge in early November. To evade the airstrike, ISIS is funneling men and keeping through underground tunnels. Former Iraqi Finance and Foreign Minister Hossein Sebari says militants are shaving their beards to blend and white the population and constantly moving their haircuts around. The jihadists are desperately trying to bolster their numbers. Okay, while is the city force holds ISIS? But about 1 million remain resigned to Mosul and the most popular city. What will happen in Mosul after ISIS is exhausted? The first challenge will be to stabilize the city and restore trust among of mosaic of sectarian, tribal, and ethnic groups. USA and Iraqi officials have spoken of established 8 self-governing areas in and around Mosul. These tasks might prove to be more difficult than the battle itself inside Turkey. A mostly Sunni nation has some 2,000 troops and 2,000 tanks deployed at a base near Mosul, and plans to keep them there for another year, supposedly to fight terrorists. Organization would also to deter Iraqi seat-led government from representing Mosul. Sunni's Iraqi Prime Minister Hafez Haider al-Abadi has warned Turkey that a continued military. Matthew Noredy of USA reflect growth Samaritan spurs. This is going to be a very large-scale catastrophe. ISIS terrorists this Sapora. ISIS into the verge of military defeat in the Middle East, and that could make it an even more dangerous trip on the west. The so-called caliphate will be crushed. FBI Director James coming to Congress. Nicholas Rumsey, the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, also believes that because the group will be no longer need to devote so many resources to maintain its debility, it will instead focus on recruiting these affected Muslims in the West to stage long war attacks. The West is entering a period of sustainment. Okay, and the other news, ARC concentrating troops while Colombia military moving into rebel territories. Colombia FARC guerrilla groups is a concentrate its approximately 606,000 fighters in the coordination with the United Nations while waiting for the resources of the stranger. Peace process according to the UN mission chief on the FARC and the military agreed to proceed with the FARC's its concentration of force of the military takes control of terrorist long controlling the Marxist rebels. On mission chief Jean Arnault told the International Organization Press Service. The UN's initial mission was to verify and to monitor the FARC's demobilization and disarmament while the military and politics took control of traditional FARC terrorists. Colombia police are moving in taking over FARC terrorists now. The process was stopped in its tracks after an October 2 and October 15 referendum that rejected the peace deal, forcing President Juan Manuel Santos and the FARC to present a sharing deal before passing in on the Congress for ratification. The unexpected referendum result created major uncertainty in the rebel control Colombians and areas of the rebel control, where authorities have already begun on the highly delicate operation to assume territorial control and prevent other illegal armed groups from fighting the power back home left by the FARC. How Colombia used area fire striker between in a bunch in heavily armed groups? Obviously, after the events of October 2, the laying down of arms has been fortunate until a news agreement is reached. Arnault, who has been according to FARC's demobilization and disarmament with the warring parties since the late 2014, told the UN's press office. The concept of a excessive note of a bit different from the concept that had been approved a couple of months ago, but in the end deals with a classic process of separation of force with the guerrillas, concentration their force in about 50 and 60 locations for the army, redeploying is the force and the UN's mission, cooperating with the two. The 50 on 60 locations mentioned by Arnold equates to number of FARC fronts that have long operated in much smaller subunits to avoid airstrike or military offensives. Presumably, each front is a non-moving its members, the one appointed while the military process to take over abandoned territory. Once the peace process is revived to guerrillas, souls move to 27 camps for their formal demobilization and disarmament. Where Colombia's FARC rebels will be dismobilizing and disarming. In the meantime, FARC and government representatives will analyze proposals for change to the deals in Cuba, where peace talks have been held since 2012. The Colombian president has been talking to a variety of interesting groups. Okay, and the sports news. Nathan Redmond capitalized on Stone's mistake to give Son Thong the left before substitute. Ignacio grabs a share of the spoils. Manchester City's Wales run continued after being frustrated by Southampton at the Etihad. City have now gone 5 games without success after their predetermination to play out of defense cost them again. John Stone was the guilty party this time as his wide-yard pass was intercepted by Nathan Redmond and the Southampton man made him pay. Stones also had a goal disalloying in day of the foreign in the England defenders but City eventually leveled. Truck substitute Kelechi in Ishaku.